Okay, so buckle up because we need to talk about how the Carters just orchestrated the most elegant takedown I've seen in years. And honey, it all connects. The Rymir case, Nicki Minaj's unhinged Twitter fingers, and Beyoncé's upcoming Act 3. This is chess, not checkers. So let's start with the foundation of this mess. For those who need a refresher, Rymir Satterthwaite has been claiming for over a decade that Jay-Z is his biological father. The story goes that back in the early 90s, before Jay was Jay, he allegedly had relations with Rymir's mom, Wanda, when she was just 16 years old. And before Wanda passed away in 2019, she went on camera in 2016 backing her son's claims. That's a mother vouching for her child from beyond the grave, boo. Rymir wasn't even asking for millions. He just wanted a DNA test, literally a 30-second cheek swab. But Jay-Z? Nope. His lawyers kept calling it fabricated allegations and decades-long. But like, if it's fake, why not just take the test and shut everyone up? The math ain't mathing. So Rymir filed a federal lawsuit in 2023, but then mysteriously dropped it in July 2025. He posted this cryptic video talking about a lot going on behind closed doors and how he had to play chess, not checkers. Which, like, sir, what does that mean? Did someone cut you a check? Was there pressure? We're still trying to figure that out. Then his godmother Lily Coley filed her own lawsuit. She accused Jay-Z of dodging DNA tests, using his celebrity status to avoid responsibility, and claimed that fighting this battle pushed her into bankruptcy. Like, this woman was struggling financially, trying to get justice for her godson. And now, just this January 2026, a judge dismissed Coley's case with prejudice, meaning she can never refile it, and ordered her to pay Jay-Z over $119,000 in attorney fees. So not only did she lose everything fighting this fight, but now she owes the billionaire money? The optics are absolutely terrible. Jay-Z's team is calling it the end of a campaign. But the timing of this dismissal? Very interesting. Now, while all this was going down, Nicki Minaj decided to make herself public enemy #1 of the Carter household. And baby, she went full scorched earth. It started last year when Nicki was beefing with Megan Thee Stallion and somehow decided Jay-Z needed to catch strays too. She started accusing him of everything under the sun. When she got arrested in Amsterdam during her Pink Friday 2 tour, remember that mess? She claimed Jay-Z orchestrated the whole thing to sabotage her.
Did they say?
Second,
Tell me again.
the police officer told me we have to offload all the luggage
Okay.
and to search everything
Okay.
of your luggage. I'm so sorry to say that.
But isn't that what you planned on doing from the get-go? Why didn't you guys search it before it went on the plane?
They did just a quick check, but now they want to open
Why?
it. And first of all, because you filmed him, and he was like.
Because I filmed him.
Yeah, he was like, he doesn't believe me that you don't have more with you than you said.
No, he asked me, do I have any more in those purses? And I said no. And I asked him, where are my bags? They took my bags and put it on the plane before I could know what bags are on the plane.
I see.
Yeah. So.
I'm so sorry for that.
Okay, of course.
She wrote, "They've been trying to stop me from coming to every show. They took my bags before I could see them, put it on the plane. Now saying they're waiting on customs. This is what it looks like when people are paid big money to try to sabotage a tour after all else failed. Everything they've done is illegal, and it gets messier." The YouTube blogger Storm Monroe, who always has insider tea, claimed he heard that Jay-Z had a mole in Nicki's team feeding information to Roc Nation. That's allegedly how Dutch police knew about substances in her luggage before she even arrived. A whole setup to make her look bad and tank her tour with negative press.
Was that allegedly Jay-Z and Roc Nation is behind this. Jay-Z and Roc Nation has been after Nicki for a while, especially after she released that song Bigfoot. But even long before then, there had been beef, which I did not realize, was trying to get her arrested, but of course legally. That's why they waited till she was overseas to do this to her. Roc Nation wanted to make sure that when she got arrested or apprehended for whatever, because you know in the industry they can get you set up with all kinds of charges. All right. It said that they wanted to make sure her husband was not with her because her husband is her protection, which we know that. Nation is looking to bankrupt Nicki. And this is why there has been several stories planted about her being broke, going broke, or needing to constantly tour because she's close to being broke. So set up and sabotage. And if I was Nicki, I would fire my whole team. Fire the whole security team. There is a mole. Get rid of them all. There is a mole. Because now that I think about it, Roc Nation got Meg. The only competition that Nicki has is Meg. Let's keep it real. It ain't Lotto. It ain't Mocha Latte. What's the other rappers out here? There's nobody. It ain't Cardi. I know y'all wanted it to be Cardi. It ain't Cardi. She was absolutely set up. Also, Tory Lanez was supposed to sign the Roc Nation first, and the second option was Meg. See? But y'all remember when Tory Lanez's daddy said, "This is Roc Nation," we all thought he was crazy.
But Nicki wasn't done. She then came for Jay-Z's pockets, accusing him of scamming her out of $200 million. Well, more specifically, she claimed she was owed about $8.9 million from the title sale. Back in 2015, Jay dragged Nicki, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, and a bunch of other celebrities into investing in Tidal. Then he sold it for $300 million. Nicki owned a 3% stake, so she was supposed to get her cut. But according to her, when her lawyers reached out, Jay only wanted to give her $1 million out of the $8.9 million she was owed. And get this, he allegedly wanted her to sign an NDA before getting even that measly check. Nicki was not having it. She basically said, "Keep your hush money. I'm gonna talk." Then Nicki decided to bring up the Rymir situation. She literally reposted 50 Cent's post about Jay-Z's alleged son and wrote, "Jay-Z is trending because the judge has granted Rymir request to move forward with his case, and the judge has demanded Jay-Z to respond to Rymir's paternity lawsuit by July 18th, #Jay-Z." And then added, "Is this why he was trending the other day? IDK. To God be the glory." In October 2025, she even wrote an open letter on Twitter saying, "Dear Rymir, I'm sorry that Camel framed you by putting things in your car, allegedly. I'm sorry he wanted you in prison the way he wants all his enemies. He's weak, ugly too." She called that man a camel and accused him of trying to frame his own alleged son. She claimed Jay-Z has money invested in private prisons and was implying he wanted Rymir locked up to protect his image. Dark. But honey, Nicki crossed a line that you simply do not cross when you come for someone's children. And that's when Beyoncé finally decided enough was enough. During Nicki's recent back and forth with Cardi B, Cardi tweeted something about Nicki threatening her kids, and Nicki responded with, "Camel and rat, we are not fazed by botted tweets and bots in the comments. That's precisely why you broke now. Desiree got fillers since I said she ugly now. She uglier. Oh girl, Camel, let's talk about your kids today. That's on the docket, boy." And allegedly, she was making comments suggesting the kids were autistic or slow. Meanwhile, according to Cardi, Nicki's own son allegedly spends his time banging spoons on tables. Even Beyoncé's mama, Miss Tina, got involved, posting a shady message that basically said, "It feels good to wake up knowing my faves didn't lose their minds like some people." The Barbs attacked her so hard, she had to edit the caption, but the message was sent. And Solange? Baby, Solange posted some creepy photos on Instagram that people interpreted as witchcraft warnings. The Knowles family was fed up. Now here's where everything connects. Beyoncé is about to drop Act 3, the final installment of her Renaissance trilogy. The Beehive is convinced it's coming in 2026, and there's been serious talk that this might be Beyoncé's last album before she retires from music. Can you imagine? Queen Bee hanging up her crown after giving us this epic trilogy? Think about the timing. Beyoncé just finished a tour that grossed over $300 million. She's being discussed as one of the greatest artists of all time. This is her legacy-cementing moment, her final album before potentially retiring. Do you really think she wants headlines about Jay-Z's alleged secret son cluttering up her farewell tour? Do you think she wants Nicki Minaj running her mouth about their children while she's trying to have her coronation moment? Absolutely not. So what happens? Rymir mysteriously drops his lawsuit in July 2025 after talking about things happening behind closed doors. His godmother's case gets dismissed with prejudice in January 2026, right before Act 3 is set to drop. The timing clears the way for Beyoncé to have a drama-free album rollout. And Nicki? Well, according to insiders, years, Beyoncé and Roc Nation are now pulling strings to blackball Nicki for good. Whatever album Nicki announces she's releasing next year is apparently going to be the worst performing album of her career. And honey, when Beyoncé decides to move, she moves. The Carters stayed quiet for months while Nicki bashed them unprovoked, but the second she brought their kids into it, game over. Now, there have been whispers, and I emphasize whispers because we can't confirm any of this, in blind item circles about this entire situation. People are speculating. If Jay-Z paid to make the Rymir case go away quietly, and if there is a settlement that came with an NDA, did the timing of the dismissal get orchestrated to clear the decks before Beyoncé's album? We can't prove any of this, but what we can observe is a very convenient series of events. Nicki goes on a months-long campaign attacking the Carters. She brings up the Rymir situation multiple times. She crosses the ultimate line by mentioning their kids. Suddenly, the Rymir case that's been going for 10 years gets shut down permanently. The timing happens to be perfect for Beyoncé's potentially final album rollout, and now Nicki is allegedly being blackballed industry-wide. Look, maybe this is all coincidence. Maybe Rymir really was lying all along, and the case had no merit. Maybe Nicki really is just spiraling on her own, and no one's sabotaging her. Maybe the timing of everything is just random chance. But when you're talking about the Carters, the most powerful couple in music, the people who have built an empire on controlling their narrative and protecting their image at all costs, baby, I don't know what to believe. Whether Jay-Z is really Rymir's father, we may never know. That DNA test will probably never happen now. Whether money changed hands, whether deals were made, whether courts were influenced, we'll probably never have proof. But what we do know is this: the Carters always win. They protected their image, cleared their names, silenced their critics, and set themselves up for Beyoncé's grand finale. Meanwhile, Nicki is learning a lesson that many before her have learned. You can come for Jay-Z's business. You can come for his music. You can even come for his alleged past. But the second you mention Beyoncé or those kids, baby, you just signed your own career death warrant. As Nicki herself once said in that old clip, if you speak on someone's kids, you're a clown. Well, Nicki, by your own definition. And when Act 3 drops with no, just pure Beyoncé excellence and a peaceful retirement send-off, we'll all know exactly how the machine works.